Parents abandon ugly baby girl. Years later, she shocks them with an incredible visit. What happens next will leave you speechless. The hospital room was super quiet, as if someone had pressed a giant mute button. Usually when a baby is born, everyone is happy and excited, but this time, it was different. Dr. Martinez held up a tiny baby girl. She had curly, light-colored hair that looked like little golden clouds on her head. Her pink ornesie was cute, but something wasn't quite right to her parents. The baby's parents, Olivia and Ethan, looked at each other with big, worried eyes. Their faces were all scrunched up, as if they had just eaten something super sour. "Is our baby okay?" Olivia asked, her voice shaky. Dr. Martinez tried to sound friendly but was a little nervous too. "She's perfectly healthy. She just looks a bit different." Olivia and Ethan couldn't stop staring. Their baby's face was all puffy and weird-looking. She had funny marks all over her skin. Her hands were a bit twisted. This wasn't the cute, perfect baby they had dreamed about showing off to their friends on Instagram. When it was time to leave the hospital, Olivia and Ethan acted really strange. They didn't smile or talk much as they filled out the paperwork. Olivia held the baby carrier but looked uncomfortable, as if she was carrying a heavy box instead of a tiny baby. "Let's go home quickly," Ethan whispered, looking around nervously. At home, things felt weird and sad. The baby's room, which they had painted pink and filled with stuffed animals, now seemed too quiet. Olivia put the baby carrier on the floor and didn't even pick up the baby. "What are we going to do?" she asked Ethan, her voice trembling. "We can't possibly show her to our friends and family. What would they say?" Ethan just shook his head and left the room. They took care of the baby for the next few days, but they didn't cuddle or sing to her like most new parents do. They didn't even give her a name. 3 days later, Olivia and Ethan did something really heartless. In the middle of the night, when it was dark outside, they drove to Happy Hearts Orphanage. They left their baby girl right there at the front gate with a note that said, "We can't take care of her. Please find her a good home." As they drove away, leaving their baby behind, they had no idea that the little girl they thought was too ugly to love would grow up to be someone amazing and pay them a shocking visit. Life was tougher than a $2 steak for the little girl in the orphanage. The other kids weren't very nice because of how she looked. They called her names like Lumpy and Squashy. She had trouble eating with forks and spoons because her hands were slightly deformed. But one person at Happy Hearts saw something special in the little girl, Miss Harmony. She was the nicest lady you could ever meet, with a smile that could light up the whole world. "Listen up, sweet pea," Miss Harmony would say, giving the girl a big warm hug. "You've got something magical inside you. It's brighter than any star in the sky, more colorful than a whole box of crayons. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about yourself, you hear me?" Miss Harmony named the girl Poppy because she said Poppy's smile was as pretty and bright as a field of flowers in springtime. As Poppy got bigger, she became braver and tougher. When other kids said she couldn't do something, she tried extra hard to prove them wrong. She practiced writing for hours and hours until her messy scribbles turned into pretty letters that looked like they were dancing across the page. When the other kids played sports at recess, Poppy made up her own games that she could play really well. She was the champion of hopscotch twist and shadow tag. But sometimes, things were still hard for Poppy. One day, when she was 8 years old, a new girl named Zoe came to the orphanage. When Zoe saw Poppy's face for the first time, she screamed and ran away. Poppy felt so sad that she hid in the bathroom and cried. Miss Harmony found her there and gave her a big, squishy hug that seemed to last forever. "Remember what I always say, Poppy." Poppy finished wiping her nose on her sleeve. "That's right, Sugarplum. And you, my dear, have the most beautiful heart I've ever seen. It's like a garden full of the prettiest flowers in the whole wide world." After that day, Poppy made a very important decision. She would be extra nice to every new kid who came to Happy Hearts, no matter how they reacted when they saw her. She became like a one-girl welcome committee, always ready with a big smile and a friendly hello. When Poppy became a teenager, something amazing happened. It was like magic. She found out she was really good at making art. She used her uniquely shaped hands to make the most awesome sculptures you've ever seen. It was like her hands knew exactly how to squish and mold the clay to make incredible things. Poppy called her art different is beautiful and made clay figures that looked kind of like her, but in the coolest way possible. Her sculptures were like a crazy mix of people, animals, and shapes, all swirled together in a rainbow of colors. One day, a lady named Mrs. Sparkle came to visit Happy Hearts. Mrs. Sparkle owned a fancy art gallery in the big city. When she saw Poppy's sculptures, her eyes got as big as dinner plates. "Oh my goodness," Mrs. Sparkle exclaimed. "There's something magical about your art, Poppy. It's like you're showing everyone how beautiful and amazing being different can be." Mrs. Sparkle offered to organize an exhibition at her gallery in the city. The news spread through Happy Hearts Orphanage, with Miss Harmony helping Poppy prepare. In the weeks before the show, Poppy worked hard on new pieces and perfected her existing ones. Poppy's first art show, Different is Beautiful, was a success. The gallery displayed her colorful sculptures, each telling a unique story. Art critics, locals, and even a couple of celebrities attended the show. As the night went on, a tall lady with purple hair approached Poppy. "Hi, Poppy. I'm Jasmine," the lady said with a smile. "I work for a modeling company called Unique Vibes. We like models who don't look like everyone else. We think different is beautiful, just like you do. I think you're absolutely perfect for us." Poppy's jaw dropped. Her, a model? It seemed as impossible as an elephant doing backflips. But then she remembered what Miss Harmony always said about her inner light. She took a deep breath and stood up tall. "Okay," Poppy said, her voice quiet but strong. "I'll give it a try." What happened next was the craziest, most incredible roller coaster ride ever. Poppy was in photo shoots where they dressed her up in the fanciest clothes you can imagine. She walked on runways, strutting her stuff like she owned the place. She even got on magazine covers. People all over the world fell in love with Poppy's unique look. She made lots of other people feel good about being different, too. As she approached 18, Poppy knew it was time to leave the orphanage and start life on her own. With the guidance of Miss Harmony, she found her first apartment. It wasn't huge, but it was hers, a place where she could sculpt, draw, and create. Being famous wasn't always easy. One day, Poppy was reading comments about her latest photo shoot online. Most of them were nice, but then she saw a comment that felt like a punch in the stomach. It said, "Who would give up a baby? Only terrible people do that." That comment hit Poppy like cold water. She knew she had been left at an orphanage, but seeing it online made her feel sad and a little angry. Poppy decided it was time to solve the mystery of her past. She was going to find out the truth about her birth parents, no matter what. With the help of Miss Harmony, she got a private investigator named Jack Sloan, a former police detective known for his tenacity in solving cold cases. Jack started by examining the records at Happy Hearts Orphanage, focusing on the note left with baby Poppy. He ran a handwriting analysis and checked for any fingerprints that might have survived. Unfortunately, these initial leads didn't pan out. Next, Jack widened his search. He combed through hospital records from around Poppy's birth date, looking for any births that matched her description. This process was tedious, involving countless phone calls and visits to various hospitals in the area. A breakthrough came when Jack discovered a birth certificate for a baby girl who was born during the period Poppy was left at the orphanage. The parents' names were listed as Olivia and Ethan Thompson. Digging deeper, Jack found that the Thompsons had moved away from the area shortly after Poppy was born and abandoned. Jack traced Olivia and Ethan's movements over the years using his network of contacts. He followed a trail of job changes and address updates. After weeks of meticulous work, he finally got their current location, in a suburban neighborhood just 2 towns away from the orphanage. With trembling hands, Poppy held the folder containing all the information Jack had gathered about the people who might be her parents. But with Miss Harmony's encouragement and her own courage, Poppy knew it was time to face her past and possibly change her future. She would pay them a shocking visit. Poppy's heart was racing as she stood outside a regular-looking house. She wore a sparkly dress, much fancier than the clothes she used to wear at the orphanage. She took a deep breath, then knocked on the door. The door slowly creaked open like in a spooky movie. A man and a woman appeared. When they saw Poppy, their eyes got wide, and their mouths dropped open in shock. "Hi," Poppy said, trying to sound brave, though her knees felt shaky. "My name is Poppy. I think I'm your daughter." Olivia and Ethan looked like they were about to faint. "It can't be," Olivia whispered, her voice very quiet. "Please come in," Ethan said, his voice scratchy like he was nervous. Inside, the house felt heavy and tense, like it was hard to breathe. Family pictures were all over the walls, but none had Poppy in them. It made her heart hurt. "We did something really bad," Olivia said, crying. "We were young and scared." Ethan nodded, staring at the floor. "We felt terrible about it every day since then. It's like we've been carrying a heavy weight in our hearts." Poppy took a deep breath. She was angry and hurt. But then she remembered all the love she got from Miss Harmony, Mrs. Sparkle, and others who knew how special she was. "I didn't come here to make you feel bad," Poppy said gently. "I came to show you that the baby you left behind grew up to be someone beautiful, inside and out." She took out her phone and showed them pictures. Magazine covers where she looked like a queen, invitations to fancy art shows, and all the cool things she had done to help orphans worldwide. It was like a slideshow of her best moments. Olivia and Ethan couldn't say a word. They stood still like statues, staring at the phone screen. They felt embarrassed, like they wanted to disappear. "We don't deserve your forgiveness," Ethan finally said, his voice shaky. Poppy smiled a little, like sunshine after a rainy day. "Forgiveness isn't about who deserves it. It's about healing. It's like putting a bandage on your heart, and I've done a lot of healing to get here." As Poppy was about to leave, she looked back at her birth parents. They looked sad, like balloons that had lost all their air. "I have a wonderful family now, people who chose to love me. But if you want, maybe we could get to know each other. Slowly, like when you plant a seed and wait for it to grow." Olivia and Ethan nodded, tears in their eyes, but hopeful. Poppy left the house feeling strong and proud, like a warrior who had just won a big battle. She had faced her past and come out even stronger. Back in her apartment, Poppy called Miss Harmony. "How did it go, sweetheart?" Miss Harmony asked, her voice warm and comforting, like a hug. Poppy smiled, happy tears running down her face. "It went just the way it needed to," she said. "Thank you, Miss Harmony, for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself." "Oh, my sweet girl," Miss Harmony laughed. "You're the one who taught us all to see the beauty in being different. You're like a shining star, showing everyone how to sparkle in their own special way. What do you think? Have you ever judged someone too quickly because of how they look? How can we all try to see the beauty in our differences? Tell us what you think in the comments."